If you want to close brand deals for your faceless channel, this video is going to be a gold mine. This is how I made over $28,000 with brand deals alone, and I bet you've never heard of what I'm about to show you. By the way, my name is David Youp. I've made well over $1 million with faceless channels, and I've helped multiple people make their first 10K with YouTube automation. This step-by-step guide is exactly what I did to get these type of results. Matter of fact, let me show you. Okay, so now we're actually in one of the creator portals for one of my channels, and we're quickly just going to go over what we're seeing here. At the moment, I have closed a couple brand deals with Influence Logic. They are a company that looks for brand deals for brands. So they're basically the middleman between creators and brands. They actually find creators for the brands so they can obviously add ads on their videos. Okay, so here we could see that we closed a deal with this company here. I'm going to blur it out just for legal reasons, but you can see it's a fixed type and the amount is $9,000, and this was published on April the 25th of 2025. So this was recently, and that was one brand deal for $9,000. Now the next one we've got down here was again fixed, and it was for $15,000, and this was published on the 3rd of May the 4th of 2025. So this is this year. Okay, now if we go look at one of my other channels, we've got another portal, and for this particular channel, again, they're all fixed. Now this is for last year, bearing in mind we do have multiple channels and we have other brand deals as well, not just with this company. Okay, so you can see here we've got, this video was $10,250, again $10,250, then $5,000 and $5,000 as well. The first one was on February the 16th of 2024. Then the 3rd, 29, 2024. This was all last year. This was just for this channel last year, just brand deals for this particular company. Okay, now here you could see that we are currently talking again with another member in the Influence Logic, potentially closing another brand deal, but you could see the back and forth talking that we have done with this particular member. Okay, so let's actually get started. What are sponsors? Okay, now if you do know what sponsors are and you want to skip the first part of the video, my editor will add a timestamp somewhere here so you can just skip ahead and go to the interesting part. But for those people that are new to this and want a clearer and a better understanding of what are sponsors, we will just walk you through, I'll walk you through that just in a sec. So here we could see what are sponsors. You can see John the Stickman happily going to explain the 3 different points. Okay, so point number 1 is sponsors are companies that pay YouTubers. Okay, now this isn't only for faceless channels or YouTube. It could be Instagram, TikTok. It could be anything where you're creating content and a brand wants you to actually speak about the their product, service, or whatever the the company does. Okay, and what usually happens is skipping to point 3 here is they offer YouTubers money or free stuff. Okay, now this could be, obviously, like I've shown you previously in the results, is a payout, or what we've had a lot of the time as well, we get free stuff. And it really depends on what type of niche you're in. Sometimes they will give you access to their software for a very long time, but it could be like a year, 2 or 3 years. And what they do is they actually give you a free account, and you can actually utilize the things with the, you could utilize the tools in the software. Okay, now, so how it works is basically sponsors contact you, you make an ad, you add them onto your YouTube videos, and it's basically like a TV ad. Okay, so basically that, and in return you get money or free stuff. Now the reason sponsors do this is they want to get more people aware. And what do I mean by this? It's like a TV ad. Remember back in the days where ads were just shown on TV? It was just to make them aware of their product, the services. And it's the same thing with YouTube, right? YouTube has now become the new TV. And what these brands are doing is basically trying to get more awareness on their product, whatever they're doing. It could be services. Sometimes it could just even be like a project they're doing and they just want more people to be aware of it. Okay, now I'm actually going to show you a visual example of what an ad looks like for a faceless channel. Now I've gave myself a little reminder here to skip to 2 minutes because that's when the ad actually starts.
Imagine entering your name and a few
You've got to skip this.
And all of a sudden, all of your car finance agreements that you had between two.
Okay, so first thing is first, you always notice that, I don't know if you saw the first, there was a little pop-up here saying that there's a promotion included. And look, all right here.
Absolutely everything advanced economies get right and everything they get wrong.
Okay, so this is a faceless channel. We're going to skip it to 2 minutes.
Overwhelmingly negative, with endless. I'm currently on the road in Northern Europe, jumping between countries, and Saily has been an absolute lifesaver. If you haven't heard of it, Saily is an eSIM app that gives you mobile data in over 190 countries, and the best part, you download it once, install the eSIM, and you're good to go. No changing a physical SIM card.
Okay, so that's basically a brand deal. Okay, so the brand deal, the company here being Sally, they contacted Economics Explain, and they've said that if obviously came to an agreement where Sally, the brand, pays Economics Explain for them to put an ad of their product, which is eSIM cards, into their video. Now that's what we call a brand deal. Now sometimes brand deals aren't shown like this. Another way a brand deal could work is, for example, if you're making faceless content and you're in the make money online niche or AI tools, because AI is a very good example. What they do is a channel will contact you to make a full entire video on that tool or software, okay? And that could also be considered as a brand deal. So you're not using only one segment of your video to sponsor the brand. What you're doing is using the entire video to actually speak about their brand and promoting it, okay? So that's what a brand deal is, okay? Now that we know what a brand deal is actually going to find sponsors for your niche. And you can see John has had an accident and he went flat face first into the damn floor, okay? But yeah, okay, now the second part is actually finding sponsors for your niche, okay? Now, why is it important to find sponsors for your niche? When it comes to obviously having a successful partnership with brand deals, and so they could consistently come back to you for more brand deals, you need to actually provide them a good service, okay? And we'll tap into that a bit later down in the video. But before we get onto that, you need to first know what your niche is and you need to understand your audience well, okay? Now, why does this matter? You don't want to be promoting something to your audience that is not related to your channel. And what do I mean by this? Let's say, for example, you're in the fitness niche, okay? You're making content, faceless content around fitness, and a brand deal comes to you to promote junk food, let's say like greasy, oily food. Now, if you put a brand deal that is promoting greasy junk food in your videos, but your video is all about fitness, there is no correlation or no synergy between the brand and your audience and your niche. So two things are going to happen here. First of all, your audience are going to dislike you. You're going to dislike you, and you're going to lose loyalty, okay? Because they're going to think that you are only making content to grab money, because you're not promoting or giving them something that's going to be useful for your viewer, okay? Again, we always want to have the viewer's interest before ours, okay? So that's why that's important. And then second of all, for us to actually maintain a good relationship with the brand, we also want to provide them good results. And if there's no synergy between the actual ads, it's going to affect your audience and the brand deal partnership, okay? So that's why it's very important to understand your niche and know your audience well, okay? Now, you might be asking, okay, so how do I actually find brand deals that are going to work, like for my particular niche? And this is where the interesting part happens, okay? So the second point is search for brands already working with similar channels. Now, this is exactly what I do every time I start a new channel and I'm looking for brand deals for a particular niche. And I'm going to walk you through this step by step, okay? But yeah, let's actually do it then. Let's get to it. So I've created another document here. Now we're going to stick to the global economics, global economy niche, where they just speak about what's happening in terms of the global economy, okay? Now, I've already done my research, but what you're going to have to do is make a list of 5 to 10 different channels in your niche, and then we're going to do the following, okay? So as you can see here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all in the economics, global economy niche. And the next step here is to actually look through their content, okay? Now, again, you want to make sure that these channels that you're going to look at are exactly the same as the as your channel. Okay, so if you're in the true crime niche, for example, say you want to find brand deals for your channel, what you want to do is now look through your competitors and see their videos. Okay, now the reason we want to look at our competitors, what we want to do is see what brands have sponsored their videos. Okay, now this is important, right? Because we already getting the feedback that these brand deals are already working with these channels, and we now know that these channels are promoting their videos to their audience. So it basically shows us that there's synergy between our audience with the brands that we're looking for. Okay, now it's fairly simple. The way you do this is you just open all the videos up, open them up. So we've done the first 4. Let's just check here. Now, the fastest way to do this is just to look at the description and see if there are any links to any other companies. Okay, you could watch the entire video if you want. However, it could just waste your time, and you end up having to watch the entire video, which could waste a bit of time, right? So as you can see here, they're not really promoting anything apart from their free newsletter. So we would say just ignore this video, and then you want to repeat this process until you found multiple ones. For example, here we could see that there is a brand deal because there's one here that says remove your personal information from the web at So, okay, now that we've got this, we copy the link. So we know that this company came with an agreement with this channel, and now this channel has actually made an ad. And if you want to verify that there's an actual ad, I'd say you look, and here we can kind of see that there's an ad. Okay, never mind that. But yeah, so what you can actually do is check the content of the video and see if they are obviously talking about what they're promoting in the description. Okay, but what we want to do is actually copy and paste the links, and you want to make open a Google Doc or a document somewhere and just paste the link that they're promoting. Okay, and I'll tell you why we're doing this in a bit, but you just want to keep on doing this. So we've done the first one.
This is Singapore, one of the world's...
Now here they're promoting the same thing, so we'll just ignore that.
In many ways,
again, they're promoting the same thing here. Okay, so we looked at the first 4, and ideally I'd say look at least 5 to 10 different ones, so you can have a variety of different brands to actually contact. The more you have, the more chances you have of actually closing a good deal. Okay, so now we'll go into context matters and do exactly the same thing. We're going to speed up this process so you guys obviously don't waste your time watching this. Okay, so here we could see there's one here, Sally, the one that we just watched in part 1. So we want to add this here. Okay, we're not having too much luck. Obviously, I'm just opening the first 4 videos. Again, when it comes to sponsored deals, you probably won't get them in every single video, but with the ones that you do get, you are going to get a big cash out if you do this correctly, of course. Okay, so for the sake of this video, I think 3 will be enough, but what you want to do is at least go through 10 to 15 videos in each channel and just go to the description and see if you can see any brands that they've sponsored. And what is also a good sign is if you see a brand in multiple of those channels. So for example, let's say we see Surfshark in all the 5 channels we just looked at. That's given us a very good sign that Surfshark is a very generous sponsor for videos in that particular niche. Okay, so we've done part number 2. We've actually done the research and we found out what sponsors are actually sponsoring videos in our niche. So that's a very important part, and this is something you have to do to get this right. Okay, with the results I've shown you at the start of this video, this is the exact step-by-step process we've done to get the results that we have. Okay, so we've now got a list of the different niches we want to do. Okay, now the third step is actually creating a media kit. Okay, now we could see John up here with a little swollen head up there with an ice pack. Poor John. Okay, cool. But before we actually go to creating a media kit, let me show you why and what we're going to do with these links. Okay, so we've created the links. We've got the links here. Now what we want to do is actually open them up. Okay, so we've opened them up and this gives us the brands that sponsored their videos. And what we're going to do here is, again, go onto the support, or what I tend to do is always go down, because down you could always find everything. Go here where it says okay, cool. Here where it says submit a request. Here, sometimes it is a little bit of a challenge to actually find the right location, but here is where you write your email address, the subject, and then you obviously contact them. But I'll tell you how to exactly do this later on in this video. There is a way and a format that you should be using to obviously get to increase your chances of actually closing that deal. Okay, but that's what we're going to do with all of these videos. So let's actually all these links, sorry, let's actually do this for the free links that we've got here. So we go to site, and here again we'll probably go to let's just accept this. We'll probably go to all the way down here. And what I always do is like to see if there's a contact us button. If not, then help center is always the next best place to check. And again, submit a request. So I'll click on that and then do the same thing. And then Surfshark, again, repeat the same process again. And with all the ones that you find, you just want to repeat the same process so you know exactly how to contact them, okay? Again, submit a request or chat with them in person. Ideally, I would submit a request because chatting with them could obviously take up some time, and they'll probably send you to the right member to speak with. Because when it comes to chat boxes or people in chat, they're more like personal assistants or people that just help you with small problems. But this is a really problem. Okay, so down here you could see you could either submit a request or chat with us. Now, ideally, I would just submit a request. A chat with us is more like for solving problems and stuff like this. And with what we're obviously going to send them is more about collaborating with them, connecting with them so we can have that brand deal, okay? Now, so we've done that for the first three, or the only three that we found for the niche so far. And I'm sure there's plenty more, but obviously you're just going to have to put more work into it and go through all the videos. Now, the next step is actually creating a media kit. Now, if you don't know what a media kit is I'm actually going to show you what a good media kit looks like, okay? Now, there are certain things you want to include in your media kit, and that includes basic information about your channel. So you want to show them like the information about your channel, and we're going to go over it. So it's just quickly just telling you what's going to be included. You want to show your stats and explain what your offers are to your sponsors, okay? Now, this is one of my media kits for one of my channels. Now, we are going to blur certain things out because it is private, but what we do is obviously provide all the information here. So we've got a YouTube channel, and this page up top is the name of the channel, which we're not going to expose. But then here we have YouTube channel because we do have other things connected to this YouTube channel. We've got an Instagram, we've got a newsletter, and we've got a Patreon community for this YouTube channel. But it says YouTube channel here because this is the stats for the YouTube channel, okay? Now we go down here where it says channel stats, and here's just some stats. Again, we're going to blur this out, but what you want to do is add your subscribers, the views you're getting, and how long you've been active for. And you can find all this data in your analytics. Next, you want to find your channel metrics, and here you want to basically just show them what your click-through rate is, the last 90-day impressions, the average retention for your videos, and how many monthly views you get. Now, after that, what you want to add is an audience age. Now, this is very important because your brands want to know exactly who your avatar is, the person, the viewer watching. And the more information you could give them, the better you can actually offer them. You could offer them a better deal because you're targeting their ideal avatar, okay? Now, you want to show them the audience age. Again, you can find this data in your analytics. Now, for the audience gender, they also want to know if your viewers are female or male. For example, if you're talking about, let's say, sports bra, for example, they wouldn't really care about male. So we're targeting females. So again, showing them this information and this data is crucial. Then we've got audience geographics. Now, this is also key. Showing them the top countries that your viewers are actually coming, where they're from. And for us, it's United States, United Kingdom, Canada, the Philippines, and Australia. So very, very good. And then if we go skip to page 9. We've got our newsletter stats. Now, this is where we actually talk about our newsletter. We show them how many active subscribers we've got, the open rate and the click-through rate. Now, this is just extra bonuses we've added in our media kit, because for your channels, if you don't have a newsletter related to the brand or any other social media platforms related to the brand, then this isn't something you'd have to add. But we've added this just so we could get more credibility and get a bigger brand deal. Okay. Now the next one would be Patreon stats. So we've got here the free members, the paid members, and how many people have visited in the last 30 days. Sorry. So after the Patreon stats, we've got where the traffic comes from our Patreon. So we've got direct people actually going into Patreon looking for our stuff: YouTube, Google, Patreon promotion, Bing, and Facebook. Okay. And we've got the Instagram stats. What you want to do here is show the followers, the interaction, the reach and impressions, and then show them what your most viral video, how many views it has. Okay. Now after that, we want to tap into how it works, and this is where you basically explain how and what you've got to offer. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys quickly here. So we broke it down into how the process actually works. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. You have to message us what you want to share or a goal you want to hit. So we have it into 4 steps. Now the reason in step 1 we actually message them and we want them to share their goals, because we want to have their goals before ours. Okay. We want to make sure that when we do offer a brand deal, that they're getting exactly what they want. That way we can build a long-lasting relationship with them. Okay. Now, once you know your goals, we'll let you know the best course of action to hitting those goals. Then third will be working with you. We'll produce the content and upload them in our platforms. And then step 4 is sit back and watch the results come in. Now, these are the different packages we actually offer for this particular channel. Now, you could pause this and add this into yours, or maybe just add this, take some out, add some more in. But this is what we offer for one of our channels. For every channel is a little bit different, because we've got different audiences, different metrics, everything. So these are the offers that we offer. Okay. Now, having a media kit isn't needed, 100% needed, but I do recommend having one, because we've been able to see that our close rate in terms of closing brand deals with a media kit has been 100 times better. Okay. Now, if you think of it from the viewer of the brand, if they come across your email and they see that you've obviously written email that's fully optimized and given them a media kit where they can actually see what your content is about, your metrics and your packages, it just makes it feel more premium and more professional. Okay. And they're more likely to actually go for a higher deal, because when it comes to brand deals, either you offer them you offer them a price and you negotiate a price, and then you go up or down, or say, I don't want this, or I want you to add this and stuff like that. But here they get a ballpark of what your offer is. Okay. Now, having multiple offers has always been the best option, because sometimes a brand deal starts with $250,000 and then they go up to $7,000, and then they go to a premium if you give them good results. So that's why it's very important to have that synergy between your content and the viewers and the brand's ideal buyer. Okay. So now we've covered what is a media kit. So we went over what are sponsors, finding sponsors for your niche. We've now created a media kit. Now the next important thing is actually presenting your pitch. And we can see John now, he's actually chilling. He hit his head. Now all of a sudden he's chilling. He's got a little pina colada there. What a life. Cool. So now presenting your pitch. What you want to do here is start with who you are, what your channel is about, and explain why the brand is a good fit. Tell them what you offer. Okay. Now I'm going to actually show you a good example of this. Now here is how we actually pitched our email to them. Okay. So I was like, I hope you're doing well. My name is David. I'm the creator behind a growing YouTube channel with a highly engaged audience, passionate about I'm reaching out because I believe your brand will be a perfect fit for my audience and I love to explore potential partnership collaboration. I've attached my media kit with an audience demographic, engagement stats, and past sponsorship examples. I'd love to discuss how we can tailor a partnership that best aligns with your marketing goals. Would you be available for a quick chat? Now, this is the best way to introduce yourself, okay? Now, look, as it says here, start with who you are and what your channel's about. We started here on who am I and what our channel's about. The next thing is explain why their brand is a good fit. We kind of went over and said, oh, my brand is a good fit because we just kind of mentioned that we think our channel's a good brand, a good fit for their brand. Then we were telling them what you offer. We're telling them what we offer. And then I've attached a media kit. I would love to discuss a tailored partnership that could best align their goals. So the offer was there is to obviously discuss how we can actually make, how we can help you with your marketing goals. Okay. So at no point here was I the main interest or the main reason for the collaboration. I was not saying, oh, I want to reach this potential. I know I could get this amount of views. Is more of the brand's interest. Okay. So always project your message for the brand, if that makes sense. Okay, so after that, he said, hey David, my name is Brand. I work with currently they're in a full budget, but would you be interested in another company? Okay, and obviously we said yes, and we went to close the deal. Okay, now that's why it's very important to get everything here sorted, from going from step one all the way to the end. Now, if you miss one of these, you're going to be more likely to obviously miss out on a brand deal and the opportunity of actually closing a big sponsor. Now that we've actually presented your pitch, the last part is actually closing the deal. And this John just splashes some cash. Closing the deal. Now, one thing I always say is a deal is never closed until it's been signed. Okay. Now, if it hasn't been signed, it hasn't been confirmed or is not a thing yet. Okay. So what you want to do is be clear about the terms. So before you jump into a brand deal, there are always going to be terms and conditions. For example, they might want you to do X, Y, or Z. And if you don't want to do X, Y, or Z, you need to obviously make it clear to them why and come into agreement where you're both happy with. Okay. Now get it in writing. The most important part, if it's not in writing, some companies can actually scam you. They'll be like, yeah, let's do a brand deal, do this for me, do that for me. But if it's not in writing and if it's not signed, then they actually can legally just not pay you and not do nothing for it. Okay, so make sure it's always in writing. Okay, now one good tip, I think you probably know this though, is stay professional and be thankful as well. Going into the brand deal, being thankful, of course, because they're obviously paying you a large sum of money for you to obviously mention your their brand into your videos. But above all, staying professional always takes you that step further. And if all goes well, then they're more likely to actually re-sponsor your channel with another video, with another ad in your video, and then obviously makes you more money, right? Now, I do want to show you a contract if I have one. Well, no, I don't have a contract shown. But what I could do is get my editor to show the contract somewhere here. It'll be blurred out, but you could see that it's been signed, everything has been done, and it's important that you actually get this done because, like I've said, if it's not in writing, then it's not confirmed. Okay, now those are the 5 steps to actually creating a solid sponsorship deal and how to actually find a solid sponsorship deal. And this is what we've done to actually been able to make over $30,000 every single year just with brand deals alone. Okay, now we make more than $30,000 a year with brand deals alone. We probably make around $100, $110, $120,000 a year with just brand deals alone. And this is the same formula and step-by-step process that we follow when it comes to actually finding brand deals for our channels. Okay, now there is one extra tactic I want to tap into before we end the video, and that is negotiation tactics. Okay, now this is gold mined here. Okay, knowing how to speak to your to the brands and knowing how to articulate how you can actually benefit them and how your offers are actually going to really help them get to their marketing goals or to what they want to achieve or how many sales they want to get. That all comes with negotiation, okay? Now, knowing how to do this can actually benefit you a lot. As you could see, for us, it's actually helped us quite a bit, being able to negotiate brand deals and offering more stuff as well, just to get a couple $1,000 extra is actually insane. There was an instance where we managed to close a deal for $750, but with one of the negotiation tactics we actually teach in my private community, we managed to get from $7,500 to $10,000. So we added an extra $2,500 just by using one of these negotiation tactics. And not only has it worked for us, but it's actually worked for one of our members in the community. Now, one of our members, Zaydan, he actually closed a $10,000 sponsorship deal. And it was his first deal. Here he says he finally closed his first deal using the strategy provided by us and the team, by me and the team. And he says, PS, those negotiation tactics actually work. I was able to get an extra 3K for this deal. So that's insane. Zaydan joined the community about, I'd say, a month and a half ago, and he's been going through the course that we've obviously teach, and he's been able to close a brand deal for an extra $3,000. So we closed a $10,000 brand deal, which is insane if you really think about it. So it's actually insane to see that members in our community are following exactly what we're teaching, and they're actually getting the results that we are also getting at the same time. So shout out to you, Zaydan, for closing that big deal. Now, if you actually want to learn how to do this yourself properly and have a more in-depth teaching on how this is done correctly, how to build a media kit, how to actually negotiate so you could close a deal with a couple more $1,000, then what you could do is head over to Faceless Media. This is our private community, or you could just go into the first link in the description. Now, on here, we teach everything to do with YouTube automation and how we actually generated millions creating faceless content on YouTube. Now, here we cover multiple different things, from the YouTube automation beginners course to the masterclass on YouTube automation. And on top of that, I have my lead team teaching the other skill sets when it comes to creating content on YouTube. That being thumbnails, editing, script writing, and funnels. Okay. So I actually don't teach in those courses there. I have my lead team come in, made a private course for you guys so you guys can learn off them. People that have spent hours and years in the craft, learning and mastering it. You guys are going to be learning from them and not just me as well. And on top of that, we have live Q&A calls with my lead team as well. So I have a lead team and I also have a team underneath my lead team. My lead team basically just makes sure everything is like working, everything is right, so we can get the videos posted. But my lead team actually jumps on the calls, and you can jump on a live Q&A with myself, with them, Monday to Friday, every single week. So guys, if you're not in it already, what are you waiting for?